And joining us for the Annapolis Face-Off, Delegate Charles Sydnor, Democrat from Baltimore County, and Senator Chris West, a Republican from Baltimore County. Thanks to both of you for being with us. You're both on the Judiciary and Judicial Proceedings Committees, respectively. Johns Hopkins University, big employer in Baltimore, is seeking the legislature's approval to have its own sworn police officers. Senator West first. Why are some people strongly supporting this?
Well, in the past year, since last year's bill was introduced and didn't make it, Johns Hopkins has conducted 125 outreach programs in the community. So it's had innumerable opportunities to talk to community members, students, staff, faculty, and has come up with a program to do what it feels it needs to be done in order to protect not only the academic institution in Homewood, but also the East Baltimore Medical Campus and the Peabody Campus down in Central Baltimore City.
And Delegate Sydnor, some people are strongly opposed to this, or at least very skeptical. What do you think?
And they have a right to be skeptical. I come at this with a different perspective. I was an undergrad student at Johns Hopkins and from Baltimore City. And I'll tell you, my time on campus, I never felt unsafe. And what Hopkins is asking to do is to create or to use a nonprofit organization, a private organization, to use public powers that are given to police, and I think it's a big step, and folk have a right to be skeptical. You talk about the whole slippery slope. You allow Hopkins to do it, and now you have organizations in Baltimore City's downtown talking about they like their own private police force. I believe the right answer is fixing Baltimore City's police department rather than privatizing police.
Well, if I could comment, in the last 4 years, aggravated assaults have increased by 350% in the vicinity of the Homewood campus. So back when Charles was attending the school, things were a lot safer than they are now. The other public campuses in the city all have their own private police forces, and at all 50 of Hopkins's 50 peer institutions around the country, they have their police forces too to protect their students. Hopkins is unfortunately in a very dangerous city and in a dangerous part of the city, so they need extra protection.
Hopkins has some of the best faculty in the world, and I think we can look to have a better solution than creating another police force. Right now here in the state of Maryland, there are at least two nonprofits that have been given this power. Crofton, they have a police department that was given this ability, and Ocean Pines. I think if I was in the General Assembly back when that happened, I might have to vote against it. I have not seen a good enough reason to continue down this path.
For Hopkins to be able to conduct this, they have to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the City of Baltimore, the mayor and/or the police commissioner, and the police force will be governed by the same standards of the state police. So it's not as if some kind of a rogue organization is going to be running the Hopkins police area. Also, they can only enforce the law on their own campus, or with a few minor exceptions, like if they're in hot pursuit chasing a criminal who has left the borders of the campus, they can continue to pursue that person.
Delegate Sydnor,
we're only talking about.
If I could jump in for a second, with your affinity
Sure.
for Hopkins, and you're a young man, it wasn't that long ago that you were there.
1996.
A short time ago, the importance of the institution to the city, it's something like 40,000 jobs. It's the backbone of the economy. Now, they can't pick up and easily move, but they seem to see, some urgency, that they're losing students who don't want to come because they perceive that it's unsafe.
The Board of Trustees and really influential alumni, they see a need. But when you talk to the students, you talk to faculty, you talk to minorities, the minority students that are there, they don't want to see this happen. They know how they've been treated simply by what we affectionately refer to as the Hop Cops. Those are our security force that's on the police, on the Hopkins campus, and at times minorities are made to feel like visitors on their own campus. I've always told people that I was from Baltimore City, walking around on Hopkins campus, yet sometimes made to feel a stranger in my own city because I was one of a few black students who were attending Hopkins at that time. So I can understand the skepticism that the students have and that black faculty and other minority faculty have.
How aggressive is the lobbying push on this?
Interestingly enough, a few weeks ago, I began getting a few letters from people who support the idea. And again, I get it. People want to feel safe. Crime is happening in Baltimore City. But on the other hand, like I said, I've talked to many alumni. We go to an event each September and talking, and the alumni are talking about this. And for the most parts, most alumni that I talk to, they don't want to see this happen.
Interestingly, I've had almost no lobbying at all. And it may be because Hopkins did so much community outreach in the past year that people seem relatively satisfied now by what's being proposed.
When people feel unsafe, they tend to go for whatever types of solutions that they find. I mean, you have people in Baltimore City that were willing to have airplanes flying over them and doing 24/7 surveillance. People's fear should not be used as a justification for accepting this
There's no middle ground on this. Either the security force has guns or they don't.
Correct. Look, when I was a student at Hopkins, there was a murder that happened on campus, right? But the murder happened, it was a student-on-student violence. One of the other concerns as I think about that is Hopkins, as some other of our college campuses, they've had a horrible time kind of dealing with sexual assault. So again, you have crime that's student on student. My question would be, I mean, who is this police force for? Who are they trying to police? Are we trying to police the criminal activity of students that are on campus? Or are we trying to build a wall and keep residents from Baltimore City away from Hopkins campus?
Gentlemen, we have to leave it there. Delegate Senator West, thank you for the time.
Great.
Thank you.